Clap.
All right.
And hello, everybody. Welcome on back to Buds Talking Buds. I got Sean, I got Jared, and we got Wyatt Dunn of the company here. How we all doing?
We're good.
Mm-hmm.
We're here.
Mm-hmm. The week is winding down.
It is. It is. We had a good week so far. Another week in Santa Barbara, slowly but surely.
11 orders, baby, yesterday.
Was it 11 or 12?
11.
Okay.
That's up 250%, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, right.
hey. So
It was a good one.
It was a great day yesterday down there.
So I'm glad that we're pushing.
Thank you to all the homies that are down there slanging cards, posting up posters, just talking to people. Much appreciated.
So good. Anything happened this last week for you guys? Anything big?
Negative. I keep doing this sauna ice bath session. Now, you notice my eyes, they look like a little off. Yeah, it's something about the sauna ice bath. I don't know what's going on. Every time I do it, I get out and I wake up the next day and my eyes are all like...
I can't decide, am I 90 years old? Am I 20 years old?
Yeah.
Am I 90? Am I 20?
Is this actually good for me, or is it so shocking to your system that it like fucks you up a little bit? I haven't decided yet, but
Maybe take a
But
break.
how's your body feel?
I think it feels really good. I think it good.
It's telling me no. My body.
My body.
My body.
I gotta come over and try it once. Like,
You got to come over and try it.
I really got to come over and try
I
it.
actually think it's actually more for your mind than your body anyway. Because if you do something that difficult, you go set in. I took a picture this week. It was 190 in my sauna, which is hot. Laird Hamilton still turns his to 215 and rides an Airdyne bike in there with oven mitts so he doesn't burn his hand, but I'll get there someday.
That's insane.
Yeah, then you jump on, you go in the ice bath, and you go back and forth.
Can we? What is Hamilton proving? We get it.
I don't.
I mean,
what else does he have to prove? You seen his wife? Have you seen his It's just.
He's a surfer, right?
Yeah.
Surfer guy.
And
He works out underneath the water in swimming pools. So he has a pool in his backyard, and he has a bunch of weights that are designed to work out the bottom of the pool. So they're like, heavy metal weights, but they have like a little rubber coating or thing on them so they don't break the ground when they drop on the concrete floor. And then you literally will do, kettlebells workouts underneath the water and just like walking.
for like how long?
Oh, it seemed minutes.
So he's like holding his breath for minutes.
100% and doing kettlebell workouts underneath the water.
Aquaman.
Yeah.
True Aquaman.
He broke his ankle, like shattered his ankle, never went to the doctor. And so now one of his ankles doesn't move and there's a permanent baseball sticking off the side of it. That was like years and years ago. So you watch Laird walk, one of his ankles just doesn't bend.
The price.
That's
you pay.
insane.
The price you pay.
The dude's a savage. I don't know how we got on that topic, but
That's savage,
Going off that, like water in general just scares the fuck out of me. I think I'm gonna die.
as you should. You don't belong in water.
I do not. I belong to float. Give me a lazy river.
I don't float.
Baby,
I
I'm
don't
good.
float.
With a tube and a drink.
Yeah.
No floating over
Yeah,
here.
Jared,
No, two drinks.
I can't float. I've
Yeah.
tried.
No.
I've had everybody try. I can't float. It's a thing. I don't know what to tell you. I don't float.
Well, you have bones and muscle. I don't think those things float
It's
very
not-
well.
I
That's
just
like your whole
sink
makeup.
like
That's
it's
like your whole
gone later.
Yeah. There's a lot of jokes.
I was like, no, just do this. Hold your breath, or breathe, or do that. No,
Yeah.
I don't float. Thanks.
What I was going to say, I just saw the new Black Panther, and a lot of the things are underwater. And one of the chicks I saw, an app, they were talking like in an interview afterwards, and they're like, "Oh, she can hold her breath for 6.5 minutes." And I'm just like, even though it's for a movie, so
An actress can do
yes.
that? Oh, that's really impressive.
Yeah, that's super.
Can you do that? Can any of
2.5?
Wyatt can do it pretty good, right? You can hold your breath. You practice.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah. They oxygen
go the whole
load.
bod.
They get out all the CO because they express all the CO2. That's the important part because that's the part that tells you to breathe.
Right.
When the sensors in your body and your blood sense too much CO2, that's when it tells you to breathe. So they like pump it all out and then over oxygenate their blood, and that's how you stay down for a long time. That's really cool for an actress to do that.
That's insane.
I've tried spear fishing, just free dive spear fishing, and
That Wim Hof breathing method is super popular.
yeah. Wim will sit down like on a podcast with somebody. He's like, I was about to do his accent. I'm not going to.
No, you're doing it. Try it. Let's hear this.
As you're shivering.
Yeah, he'll tell you like, I'll get you to hold your breath for multiple minutes right now, just doing his exercises, and you go through his breathing exercises. You get all the
CO2 out.
CO2 out, get all the oxygen in, and then he'll have you hold your breath. And I've seen people on podcasts do it for 2 or 3 minutes without any formal training or anything.
That's
impressive.
insane.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, the fact that anybody can master their body like that.
What if Wim was taking huge bong rips? Like, what if we had this bong rip, like one of them that's like 5 feet long, you know? And I wonder if he could hold it in for like 7 minutes and then just black out.
That would be a test.
I think he'd black out before he got to the 7
Yeah,
minutes.
probably. It's like Wim just takes this huge hit. He's
So much THC, like
if
straight.
anybody can hold their breath and video this, we will gladly be lovely to watch it.
absolutely. If you're local, I'll deliver. If you take a huge bong rip, you hold your breath for over a minute.
I've done
Christ.
90 minutes is my record.
You've held your breath for 90 minutes?
And I could hold myself just like this with the arm bar.
Okay. What? You held your breath for 90 minutes and while doing pull-ups.
Wait,
The pull-up, just hanging straight from the bar.
Okay, for 90
They
minutes?
did that on the Fear Factor thing.
Yeah, not for 90 minutes.
not
for like
holding their breath. 90 seconds.
Seconds. Did I say minutes?
Yeah.
Seconds.
Okay, that's pretty good. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
We could cut that.
I'm ready for that.
No.
No cutting.
I stamp that.
Why did we even get an editor? He's gonna be like, "What do you mean? I do great."
Well, we talked about it last week. My wife surprised me with the trip.
Yeah, how'd that
Nothing
go?
crazy. It went good.
That's
We went to my from work. Sean brought me to work, so I didn't have to bring my car. And then my wife picked me up. We went directly to L.A. Didn't know where we were going. There was a little bit of traffic on the 405, so she got off to
Always.
go on PCH.
always.
It was sun was setting. It was the most awesome drive. Like I really don't care. I'm not a scenic person. Like I've seen nice views my whole life. Like let's look at the Rock. Why? I mean,
But to hop in a car and go on a
it was
trip
not-
where it was a surprise, and
Yeah.
now you're sitting there
Yeah.
like on the way to the surprise, perfect sunset
Yeah,
in front
I
of you,
mean-
driving on the highway full clear after being on the 405,
Yeah.
which is always fucked.
it was actually really cool. It was like nice and clear out on the like pretty flat. You can tell, and it was cool going by what I think Santa Monica Pier and the Ferris wheel. So it was actually really cool. If you haven't done that, do it with the kids.
That's
Yeah.
the first pier
Yeah.
I ever went to.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, really?
As a kid, yeah.
Nice. So she took me to one of my best girlfriend's house down in Long Beach or somewhere around there. No, well, somewhere down south. And then at the next day, that night, she was like, "Okay, we're gonna go see one of your favorite podcast live show." So KFC Radio, Barstool Podcast. They came to LA. It was okay in LA. So it's 7:00 show. So we're like, okay, we'll get a Uber. We'll go to a bar first. So we get there. We're getting a little tipsy. Hey, Anna. Yeah. What's up? We're gonna get going. Can you get the tickets out? Yeah. I don't have the tickets. And we're like, what? She goes on her phone, can't find them at all. So the couple we were with, the husband, Sean, he Ubered all the way back 20 minutes, came back and got them.
At the house.
Uh-huh.
So, like, what's there printed off tickets?
Yeah,
I don't know.
and
Last
then-
time I had a paper ticket.
And then she couldn't find it on her phone. It was wild. So like we had to do that. But the cool thing, the UFC fight was on, so I get to watch. I saw Meatball Molly lose.
That was a terrible matchup.
That was so crazy. It wasn't a good fight. Like I don't know. Anyways, it was. And then from there, he gets back. We Uber to the place. It is in the middle of a cemetery at a Masonic lodge.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so
Can
I was
we
just
do a
like-
live show like this
Oh, it was
too?
awesome. Like it was actually pretty cool. And the KFC guys are like, we're not doing any sacrifices here. Like, don't touch anything. We're good. Like,
Did you say KFC?
yeah, KFC radio.
Their chicken there?
No chicken.
Yeah, what
No
does it
chicken.
stand for?
Kevin
okay.
something Clancy. Yeah, it's his nickname. And he said he regrets it. And like,
Kevin
why did I?
Clancy got it. Okay.
Yeah. He's like, why did I do that? But it's all good. But it was really cool. Surprise, right? And we got to meet him, took pictures with him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, in the middle of it. So one of the girls, the producers on the team, went to USC. So like, oh, who likes USC? Everybody started yelling. And I went, boo! And then they went, hey, why did you boo? Because I was the only person who booed. So I'm deaf, so I didn't really hear that. So my friends, like the people I'm with, they look at me and everybody else does. I'm like, and Anna goes, get up, stand up. I'm like, my daughter has heart condition, and UCLA saved her life, and USC didn't. So fuck them. And then everybody went. And I'm like, all right.
Sounds like the Knights at the Round Table situation
Oh, yeah.
too, where HT's getting obnoxious and wasted, and they're like, "Yeah, let's bring that guy into the show."
It was pretty good though. And then when I talked to him, I'm like, I'm the USC boo, and they're like, oh, nice, and they're both like, your kid okay? And I'm like, yeah, perfect. They're like, awesome. Took pictures and went.
That's a win.
So and
Go fund me. Let's go.
before went to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
Of course. Didn't even mention that till now?
Bro, it was
Knew I should have gone with you.
hands down. If you're in the LA area, find a Roscoe's and you will be so happy. Fried chicken and waffles, delicious.
Is there a lot of homeless fights at Roscoe Chicken and Waffles?
No, there was that. It's not a fucking Waffle House.
That's literally what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm like a Midwest Waffle House in
No,
my
yeah,
mind,
I mean,
and
It's a good deal. There
Yeah.
might be a fight.
Yeah, they have like fights at all hours of the
Yeah.
day. Like there's stories of like people going into the kitchen and fighting the cooks. Like
at Waffle House.
Oh yeah.
Well, the kitchen there is no kitchen at Waffle House.
Exactly. You just walk in the back and then just start fighting.
Walk in.
The kitchen
start
is
fighting.
open, so like you set it. It's like a bar at Waffle Houses where behind you they're normally making the drinks at a bar, but they're cooking the griddle. You can reach over and touch.
Oh,
the
it's
griddle.
like that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was still like I thought it was a big
Oh.
window. I've never been, so I thought it was a big window and you could see him cook.
Nope.
Oh, it's right there.
Since we've been talking about St. Louis a lot, this reminds me of a Waffle House in St. Louis. Hashtag Ferguson, baby. That's where it's actually at. The true ghetto over there. And I used to go there at nighttime, and Dark is like the only place open late at night. And I saw somebody jump over to fight the cook guy, and it was just, I think they knew each other because I could tell they weren't probably actually going to come to blows, but they were like behind the thing just yelling at each other. And then the dude just jumps back over and continues and eats his food and kicking nobody
insane.
kicks him out.
That's insane. But they're notoriously known for the fights.
Yep. Oh, DoorDash driver coming to the building. I'll let we need to buy stock in DoorDash.
Yeah, for
We
sure.
probably should.
There's like 50 employees that work here. Nobody can order DoorDash from the same place or at the same time.
No.
It's just a continuously DoorDash delivery situation going on here.
Pretty hilarious.
Yeah, it is pretty
I
hilarious.
stopped doing it. See, I quit. I quit the
for you.
DoorDash.
That's probably smart.
Yeah, it helped.
Does that mean we have a lot of lazy employees?
Yeah.
Yes. Actually, that means they're working so hard they can't even
yeah.
get away to go get food.
I've
that
done
they
that a
just
couple times.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
just got to order it and crush it and get back to work.
Hashtag no breaks.
Yeah.
We'll move on. We have some current events. Congress sent the first weed bill to President Biden, making it where their federal cannabis policy will go where doctors can actually research more and not get penalized. Do you have a couple more thoughts on that?
No, I thought it was going to be some really cool, like groundbreaking thing. I read through it and I was like,
It's not as cool as we thought.
Yeah, basically the concept is currently Schedule 1 drug, meaning it has no medicinal use. As heroin, same class as heroin. So they were going to say, hey, let's research it now so then we can actually deem it medically usable, then remove it off Schedule 1. It's kind of the thing. I was like, there's a lot of research out there that it has some medical
Yeah.
benefits.
Like
I think we could probably just
plenty.
move it off of
Plenty.
move it
the
off
thing-
Schedule 1, but
The thing I liked about it, the fact that the House and the Senate passed a marijuana bill to go up top. So, I mean, that's pretty, if that's a win for anything.
yeah, it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when the House and Senate actually agree on something, that's pretty good right now.
Yeah, I heard Fauci's in charge of all the research, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, I mean, it'll be a 2-week break, and then we'll be right done.
Yeah, yes. Quick little slow the curve shutdown, baby, and the cannabis come right back up.
Good old pandemic humor. And the next thing, Mr. Tyson is a genius. Mike Tyson.
Or he's about to get sued. I can't quite tell what was the driver
Either way,
of this.
so he has his holy ears, his edibles that we have talked about before. He
Well, they
partnered.
were called like Mike Bites.
They were
though.
called Mike
They were.
Bites.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tyson
So,
Bites or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
They must have totally rebranded when he came in, I guess.
Yeah.
But he partnered up with Holyfield, like a very smart person.
Or Holyfield threatened to sue. I'm not
Yeah.
exactly sure.
I'm saying they're joining. I
Either
don't want to
way-
speculate.
Either way,
Either way.
happy for them. They're making some money.
Yeah.
Tyson's just going for it. I mean, with his whole like huge thing, and I don't know, up North California. Yeah, which when is that coming by the way?
I don't know. I think he's going to sell some more weed before he builds the theme park. But
honestly,
so you imagine the gummies though. It's somebody's ear, obviously. And so the promo was Tyson biting little bites out of the ears and then throwing them in a bin, like he kind of like did that for each one that got sent out, which I thought was like, oh, that's pretty funny. I don't know if I'd want gummies that somebody else bit out of.
Definitely not. No, for
the
sure.
mold is the bite.
Yeah.
Not bite.
Honestly, though, if I could get
would
some
be
of
a cool
Tyson's DNA in me, I think I might.
know, that's
like,
what
I
I'm
might just be like, hey, can it rub off? Is that like gonna soak in?
it's almost like drug doping.
Yeah.
Like, I get a little bit of his DNA in me.
Yeah, so they were called Tyson Bites, and then I want to say Holyfield threatened to sue, and Tyson's like, hey, I don't need to lose again on this deal. Let me bring you in. I got sued when I bit your ear off. I don't need to get sued again.
Man, do you remember that fight? I watched that fight.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah,
that's so insane. It was
Yeah.
still one of
Tyson was getting beat.
Yeah,
he was getting beat. That's why he bit his ear.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like he just some crazy, Tyson's dominating. No, he was getting beat.
Yeah.
He was out of things to do.
I think the first Tyson fight I saw I was 11, and we had a huge barbecue at the house. We had like 30 people over. It was all my mom's like friends and uncles and cousins and stuff. And we waited, what was it, 4.5 hours for the main fight.
Yeah, for the main
13 seconds.
13
Yeah,
seconds.
that's the shitty part about a Tyson fight.
Yeah. So I was like, okay.
The same thing when, at least here on the Central Coast, when Liddell was big, we would have parties and the same thing. We're like waiting all day. We can't wait. Liddell's gonna like go the distance. No, first round knockout. We're like, all right, sweet. We're done by 8.
Yeah.
I went to his house once for my friend's birthday party.
That's a little.
That's pretty cool.
All right.
Central Coast, a lot of MMA, a lot of good MMA people.
Well, Cal Poly had a good wrestling team.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they actually brought in
which was where Chuck came out of, but Tim Kennedy, he didn't graduate, he didn't wrestle at Poly.
Oh, he didn't.
No. Glover Teixeira, he was just the champion currently in the UFC, and he trained here a bunch as a gym. A lot of big time players.
Are they all out of Pitt or the Pit?
At some point, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was so huge. Everywhere was Liddell. That was a crazy time.
That'd have been pretty cool.
It really was.
And he would just walk into like Firestone.
He would come to the grad like every Wednesday.
Yeah.
And that's how I
to
met him.
Hit on girls.
He was hitting on my homegirl.
Yeah.
And I was standing right there, and I was like, "Hi, nice to meet you," whatever. And then like months later, I'm at his house. Like, okay,
Dude,
he was there all the time.
He went through some numbers.
Imagine the numbers. If you're the light heavyweight champion of the world and you got a mohawk, like,
Yeah.
I can only wish someday, maybe. How old am I? 34. Do I still got time yet? Yeah. I think I'm in my prime right now. I can make a run
to be the Iceman with the. All right, hey, cut it. We'll go to a tattoo shop, get some Chinese symbols
letters
on the side, and
then I'll be like Chuck Liddell in his post career gets knocked out in like the first 30 seconds rather than him knocking somebody out.
Oh man, that was so sad when he started.
Yeah, that does.
Really,
that happens to everybody though. Father Time eventually catches up with you, especially if you've taken a bunch on the chin.
Exactly.
Or your eyes, as we could see right here. Stressful.
Father Time is
Father Time.
It's the sauna for you.
Yes, it's
That's what you should call it. Father Time.
Yeah, own a weed company or sit in the sauna and do ice baths.
Exactly.
Father Time will accelerate.
All right, we're gonna jump right into talking to Wyatt. Wyatt Dunn. He's a friend of Sean in Nebraska for a long time.
Fourth grade.
Fourth grade.
Let's go.
Yeah, I just want to pick your brain. And first of all, what do you do here? And then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
First of all, it would have been more before fourth grade, but Wyatt grew up going to a one-room schoolhouse where like all the kids of all the grades were in the same exact room, which I feel like explains a lot of his mannerisms. Yeah. To just set a little background.
That was two rooms from K through 3. Third grade, and then if you graduated that, if you were lucky, you go from 4th to the 8th grade. Into the big room.
The
That's
big
a separate
room. He didn't make it the big room.
I was just there 2 weeks ago. It's not.
Can't believe you came from there. He did not make it to the big room. He had to transfer over to a school that actually had other students and teachers. And
segmented a little more.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. What do you do here? What's your day to day look like?
Graphic design. That's kind of where the packaging started when I went first on here in February this year. We didn't really have kind of a background image for our logo yet. Just trying to figure out what's appealing to the area, just with packaging, from billboards to postcards, pretty much anything that you could see that is all of advertising, digitally and print material, is just kind of where we first started.
We launched a brand right when he started, put the design together, got everything ready. We launched the brand, and I think we're a little over $3 million we've sold of that brand since January.
Insane.
So that's a lot of packaging that we put out. Whew. A lot of different products too that we wind up work the design over too. So the design doesn't just look good on eighth bags. It looks killer on pre-rolls, on it all. It just brings it all together. It's pretty cool.
On top of like making some prospects for other companies too. Very impressive.
It's one thing the college actually panned out for, going to school for graphic design, which still I would say is not even, you shouldn't go to school for graphic design. If it takes 4 years to, I went for bachelor's in Peru, and it took 4 years. And then by the time you graduate, everything that you learned,
obsolete.
Technology beats that school all the time.
All the time. YouTube, baby.
You could do everything in Photoshop that's just brings out something by a click of a button now, or a filter.
Now, mind you, I have attempted to use Photoshop before, and it took me hours of search bar to get anything done. So it's not easy. But if you put the time in, for sure.
But like you said, it's not 4 years hard.
Yeah.
For what you were doing, you could ask YouTube those questions, or your professor that you're paying. YouTube's free.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's that's kind of where we're at with design.
But I just ask you. I come to you. I'm like, I really need this. Can you do this for me? You're like, yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So let me just YouTube it real quick.
What's so obviously you came here and you designed packaging for us, but it's not just like a person can jump into their first package design and have it take off and have it work. Like that just is not really how the game works. What were you doing prior to the source?
I had practice before the source. I was living in Nebraska, and the only thing there was CBD, but barely. So people didn't want to really even smoke it because, well, back home you're a teacher, you work at the nuke industry, you're doing something where someone's going to require a piss test or background check something. So there's not a lot of people who are even open to smoking it, even at the level at 0.3 THC, full spectrum especially. It's just not worth it when you have a family of 4, so what have you. So I said, fuck it, I'll just do a little bit of hemp practice. I'll just see if I could sell it to my friends, and we'll start there with just a pre-roll. Came out with Purple Plains, living in the Midwest. Kind of sounded like
weeds, kind of Purple Plains.
I think like Prince, Purple Rain, Purple Plains. It kind of rhymes. It's catchy.
What was the reason? Why did you start? Why are you like, no, I'm going to do the CBD? Because you saw the market, or what?
Yeah, the market is. I don't want to do these normal jobs that are 8 to 5 that don't really mean anything, and I'm working for something that I just don't care that much about. It's super hard to find something while you're living and mobile to do something that's like, at the end of the day, with 8 hours, 10 hours of effort. Is it even something I care about? I mean,
how many jobs have you had over your life?
30. I've had over 30 jobs.
And,
from
in your 36.
I'm 30. I'll be 35 in next March. I'm 34 now.
So that 30 jobs. So let me get So
we are all the same age.
Very much so. Just like a few months
this
apart.
whole table is like right there.
I've done landscaping. I've worked with student loan debt, with Nelnet.
What about the grocery store that you?
I worked at a grocery store that I think we've both worked at the. Well, I guess that was prior to the grocery store.
Yeah, so we grew up in this little town. There's like one grocery store, one other little store to shop at, whatever. Wyatt's working at the grocery store, and I'm working at the little. I don't know, it's like a
Pomida.
It's called Pomida. It's a knockoff Kmart. It's worse than Kmart for people out there who don't know what Pomida is.
That's
saying a lot.
Yeah.
Saying a lot. So I'm over here at Pomida. Next door is Hinky Dinky, which is a grocery store.
Which rhymes.
Yeah, which rhymes. So Wyatt's over there working, and he decides, I don't really know the details besides that he pissed in the milk cooler. And
I could give you the detail.
Yeah. Wait, do we want to?
Well, you're only allowed a 15-minute lunch break, which I thought was stupid. And in order to, I wanted a pizza over lunch. It took like 12 minutes in the microwave, at least from frozen. And then, yeah, I was just like holding it up in the air like this in front of the blowers in the freezer.
Cool it down.
To cool it down because I had to get back to work.
Because he microwaved it.
You know, and yeah.
So you microwaved a frozen pizza and then had to cool
As
it
I'm
down.
standing there, you ever play hide and seek and you're just hiding in the closet? You're like, I have to fucking pee.
I've never had that experice, but go on.
Never? Just like holding
I
still
have.
for like,
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
and I just like, well,
Didn't know the normal thing.
I may have peed on some of the cooler, not the stuff itself, but
Not
just
the
like
food.
the cold walls in the back.
Yeah.
And it froze into little pissicles and stuff. But
Yeah.
I told my friend, and then they just stopped scheduling me the next week.
Yeah. So then, so after that happens, he decides to come next door. He's like, "Hey man, I'm not working over there at Hinky Dinky anymore. Can I come to Pomida?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bro, I can definitely get you a job over here." Then we decide to concoct this plan where we're going to steal everything. So we had dollies full of beer that we were and we were 16, 17 years old, definitely still in high school. We were carting out cases of beer out the back with carts. We were having Captain Morgan bottles all over in our coats and shit like that.
Paintball
guns, like you name it.
And you're doing this while you're a star athlete of your high school.
100%.
And with
Catch
your
of a badass.
Yes, captain of every team that I was ever on. I was homecoming king. All of those things are happening.
and you're just pretty well known.
Yeah, very well known.
Everybody knows you, and you're just like, yeah, let's rob the store I work
king
at.
and
Yeah.
criminal at the same time.
Yes, yes. I have an afro that is huge that during wrestling season we would dye blonde. So it's like this
That's such a
crazy
wrestler
fucking
thing.
color. And yeah, very well done. So we start stealing all this stuff out, and it goes on for months and months and months and months.
It was nice.
It was nice. I mean, I even got like, I was having like conjugal visits in this place. That is the true situation as well. So we think there's no cameras. I'm telling him like, hey dude, I've been here for like 2 years. There's no cameras here. Just trust me. We're in the clear. Have your girlfriend come visit you at night when we're closing. Like do all these things.
Dick in aisle 6.
So
No.
yeah, yes, we're living this life. We're living this life in Pomida, and then one day we're both working, and these corporate people come in. And they sit us down. They're like, "Hey, so we saw that you stole," and they just like lay this list down. It's just like flopped on the table. We were like, "Oh Lord!" We look at the list and we're like, "Yeah, that's still not even half of it." Yep. Okay. Sounds good. He's like, yeah, we got video. You know, we like came in and installed some sort of hidden cameras somewhere.
Micro cameras.
Micro cameras.
What I remember. It's like you couldn't see them. There was nothing.
Yeah, because they had fake cameras in there, and then there was like a room where they were supposed to have all the DVR units, but I went in that room.
He was in the parking lot on his laptop watching it live as it was happening. Like, prove it.
Probably beating off to Wyatt banging something. He's probably some creep out there.
Insane.
That'd be some good footage.
Holy God. Okay, so that's, I don't know, we got this 30 jobs. There's two of the 30 jobs.
Just stupid work.
Stupid
It was always.
shit.
Can't wait to hear about the rest of them.
Yeah.
So I was told, moving on, I was told that you helped out with Purple Plains, right? You helped him out.
I kind of like, I was like, we're doing a similar thing.
So with that relationship, knowing you're like, oh, he's kind of doing already cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
With that, why it was kind of an easy thing to transition.
Absolutely. Purple Plains is like a training ground for the source, I think.
And it did help. Like we ended up pulling it on, and like I loved it. Like I
It was
like
good.
smoked,
It's
yeah.
some good stuff. It just with a minimum SKU of $2,500 a SKU, and I had multiple products going on because without at least 5, I probably didn't have much of a website or anything to, promote. So I went pets, topicals. We went massage oil. I've been into massage parlors because that's a big avenue for
CBD massage.
CBD. that's probably where we would nail Oklahoma. We were doing really good. We sold. That's where I sold most of it at this one massage parlor, which was kind of a close relative, but a twister took it out because it's right in Tornado Alley. So there goes that.
So that you lost that contract.
Yeah, I'm like, well, this is the end of me.
Yeah. Well, you don't want all those cases of CBD massage? Yeah, our whole building got blown away.
That sucks.
And then how was the transition here? Well, like how was that? Like Oklahoma happened.
Yeah,
then was it like I need to do something? And
it was the chase of paycheck to paycheck for SKU to SKU. Once you get the money that you made for the $2,500 that you invested, it's just to reinvest again. It's just and I'm not marking it up that much because I'm trying to get it to people who around the Midwest just could afford what's affordable. And it's, for a $30 bottle when wholesale's $25 plus shipping, I'm shipping at $9. I'm losing $4 every time just to get the name out there. And that's part of like business 101 for the first 1 to 3 years.
Yeah.
When you're building, it's intense.
It's fucking tough, dude.
It's tough to
it's
build
so tough. Cannabis is way worse with the taxes and the red tape. I don't know how you guys do it.
I think the other problem with CBD stuff is there's so much bunk stuff that's untested.
Yeah.
So why develop like really good products? Like you'd actually take them. Not only did it have exactly the amount of CBD it said in there, but like the substrate it was mixed in was really good, and then it had a bunch of terpene profiles. So like you had these awake tinctures that were daytime and had all the terps that were daytime terps. But what a lot of people do, a lot of the CBD industry is like you'll pick up a bottle. It's like, we have 3,000 milligrams of CBD. I bet you if you sent that through a tester, it's got about 3 milligrams of CBD. Right. And so you're trying to compete against these people that are selling a tincture at $20 because there's truly like no CBD in it. It's just like olive oil or something like that. And then you actually develop a product that has legit amount of CBD and is good isolate CBD, but nobody wants to pay the price tag for it because they're like, oh, I can get this other stuff for cheaper. So, that's inferior product. Yeah.
Totally.
So I think that makes the time to making profit even longer than it would be in another industry when there's not as much knockoff crap out there that's super cheap.
So when did you? I don't know.
Well, you had another job though. This wasn't like Purple Plains was a big part of your life, but it wasn't like you weren't still working at a
done nuclear. Back home at the Cooper nuclear plant, that's where everyone works. They have an outage that's bi-yearly, so that's kind of something that people cash cow in just around.
So including you.
Yeah,
I've done it a couple times.
Okay.
It was interesting to see just how a city works on juice like that. You're pretty much harnessing the sun. You're creating your own sun in a way, and going into places where it's super radioactive, and your job is to put lead blankets on these valves before they expel out into the public. Like you have to get into the core. And like, you're getting $18 an hour.
You like walk. People would walk by with a detector, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, it's hot right here." Is the word you would say, meaning there's a bunch of radiation coming off these pipes or through these valves. So then, Wise Chavi go literally hang lead blankets because the radiation can't get through the lead, like you do the X-rays and whatnot.
Going to the dentist or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And these lead blankets are ridiculously heavy, and so you'd hang them all up, so then people could then traverse in that area safely during that time and not soak up a bunch of radiation.
And you're dressed out, so you have a full suit. And you have duct tape on your ankles and wrists, and a head, like 2 head things, like a swim cap, and then also the hood.
Oh, so you're nice and hot.
It's fucking hot. Oh. And sometimes you only have jumps that
Did you
are
ever do
allowed
that?
for 30 minutes at a time. And you got to get back out because you're just picking up too much dose.
Oh, yeah.
So you do 30-minute increments?
You do,
Sometimes.
yeah. And they call it jumps. Like, that's what they call it. They would say, okay, you're going to go in, and because your body's covered in these little detectors that detect radiation. Dosimeter, thank you. Yeah. So you have all your dosimeters in like different pockets and all these sorts of shit. And then you're, again, all dressed out in your outfit. And then you go into the area where all the dose is at. And I had like a little radio thing going on. And sometimes if my dosimeter, we would be in like really heavy areas, it'd be going crazy. People would hit me up and be like, Sean, you're too close. you're too get away from whatever you're by, and then we'd have to like back out, and yeah, you only have jump times, and like you got to get back out of there. I was working at one in Arizona where our jump time was like we were going to try to push it to 45 minutes, but we walked in and it was so hot, our boots were melting to the metal, and our plan was at the bottom, we were climbing a few hundred feet in the air. We had a huge cooler full of ice, like right outside this little door, and if somebody goes down, our procedure was like strap them into us, get them off of what we were climbing on, and get them on get their body on ice, so then they can like bring them back to life or something like that. I don't really know.
I remember it was a hot year when I don't remember the last time we did it. Ambulances were coming in and out all the time. It was a heat wave that outage.
Yeah, because the way nuclear power plant works is it literally, especially the steam generation ones where that me and him worked at together, where it basically turns river water into steam, and that steam turns a turbine. So you can imagine the heat that comes off of turning literally
smell.
a river into steam to then turn the turbines. It's fucking
These
crazy.
turbines are
insane.
They're bigger than this room.
Yeah.
It's wild to see.
It's really cool though. That's my I'll say the source is probably my favorite job. But besides that, the nuclear
Most
world,
interesting, at least.
yeah, was
Did anybody get superpowers?
negative.
I mean, that's the only reason why
I was like, we're going in.
Yeah. You're just setting on all the pipes. Like, I know this is gonna work, baby. Some mutant dick after this.
Well, going from one thing that harmed your body to one thing that enlightened your body, you have a book right there called 7 Grams.
Oh, yeah. I actually went to Central Coast Floats, I think.
You want to talk about the floats?
I just went there on 2 grams, so it's kind of related.
Okay. Well, Wyatt is an avid mushroom intaker.
Yeah, mushroom enthusiast.
Enthusiast, maybe.
Explorer.
It's really cool.
And if you listened to the podcast before, we've talked about a situation where you went to a flotation in a basement.
Oh,
The tank.
Oh my god!
Yeah, tell us about your first flotation tank.
Yeah.
That was a Craigslist meet. Well, I was probably early 20.
Okay, we need to hear about that.
Yeah.
Super
From
sketchy shit.
So you're probably listening to Rogan in about 2006,
Yeah,
and Rogan's
just a few
talking about
years.
isolation tanks.
and kettlebells.
Yeah.
And I found this guy on Craigslist who says he was building them, and he ships them out to who fucking buys them. I don't know. And then he said I messaged him if I could test it out because I heard about it on Rogan's podcast. And this was the only place in Lincoln, Nebraska, that was just a Craigslist thing that had him at the time. And I went to his house. I was working nights. I wanted to go in super tired and on a deep edible. So I had like maybe 30 milligram edible, low sleep. And I'm knocking on his door. We had the whole thing met at a certain time. And the first thing I saw was kettlebells. So I knew he was probably going to butt me right from the door.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, maybe.
Craigslist.
It sounds like I'd see those kettlebells and be like, he must be jacked. He better watch out.
At least I'm going to have this jack guy butt me.
Okay, so he takes you down in the basement.
To the
basement. To the unfinished Midwestern
have.
concrete basement.
Sorry, mother, if you're listening to this.
It's about the size of this table. It's like a coffin. And it was I was like a ping pong ball in a cup the whole time. But right when I got in there, I guess I should say, it was...
He just closes the lid on you.
he just shuts the lid. And I'm like...
Didn't say
I'm waiting.
anything?
He'll say he'll like not. He set the kitchen timer thing on the thing for like I could hear him winding it up for an hour.
And then he hears a padlock go.
No.
No.
I was like, wait a minute.
But yeah, it was interesting and safer than I thought it would be. At least it turned out okay. But it was like an hour. It was 1 hour. Just same thing I did today at Central Coast Floats Up and Slow. 1 hour, which was you could stand up in this thing.
Yeah,
It was.
I need to do
Yeah,
it.
I'm so confused on that. There's water in there, and you're standing. How deep is the water?
10 inches, right?
10 inches?
It's ish.
So you like wouldn't want to lay down on the floor.
Yo,
You do. And yeah.
I would say maybe 15 inches of water, but there's over 1,000 pounds of salt, so you're buoyant.
Okay.
If you're
Float.
floating.
The one time Jerry can float?
Yes.
Oh, I gotta go do this now.
Yes.
I need that. I need that in my life. I've never experienced this. I mean, like, on a raft or something. But anyway, that's not the point.
They have lights, they have music, and there's buttons on the wall.
Did you turn the lights off and the music off?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Fuck yeah.
That's what that's
gonna
all
call
I
you a
want.
little
I
bitch.
want it to be silent.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
whole point of it. Sensory deprivation. So the water is the same temp as your body. The salt's the same osmolarity as your body, and you have no sight or sound. So you have no inputs coming in. You're like a child in the womb. You can't feel anything because the water's the same temp, and you're floating.
That's funny you say that because I was thinking this is like what Morton's jelly is probably like in the
in the womb. Yeah.
yeah.
How you knew that term? That's a pretty good term.
I know my jellies.
Yeah. So I guess, do you think you get creative juices? Because we actually ask you to create a lot of different things, whether it's a Snapchat ad, whether it's a billboard, no matter what it is. Do you think you get some of your juices from the fungi / isolation tank / whatever other weird shit you do?
Microdosing for sure could help with that. Some weeks you might, there's a tolerance that you could build with microdosing as well. You could get a little bit too carried away with it. And it's not like ideas are coming every single day. Mm-hmm. You might, they actually do, but only one's going to stick. Mm-hmm. I could probably have 1,000 ideas in a day and only one at the end of the day or the end of the week is actually going to work. And it's just trying to find that one that works. It's and that's trial and error.
It's kind of a game to play too, because like when you're microdosing, like if you happen to push that microdose just to the point where your brain turns to mush, you might as well take a couple grams because at that point you're not going back.
Oh,
once you're already over the edge, you can't take it away. So you might as well just get high. Like
Wyatt did that to me about 2 months ago. I had a comedy show we were going to. I wasn't performing. We were going to a comedy show that night, and before we left, I had like a bunch of taxes to pay. So I'm like, I'm gonna get these taxes paid. I'm gonna get at this comedy show. Wyatt comes in. He's like, yeah, you should take this, and take it. I think it was it 1 gram, half a gram, half a gram, but it slapped me like it was like 2 grams.
Was it penis envy?
I mean,
maybe.
It gave me that. No.
Yeah.
So, but you want to talk about the fuck it. Like, I just could not force myself to do anything that had to do with paying taxes or anything I didn't like want to do right then.
It
like
just mush.
I sat down from the computer, was like
completely crushed.
See, that's my microdose. I do 0.5 every 4 days.
That's like
and then, but to you, you're
it felt me.
Like
0.2
mushrooms,
but you never know. Like if you do a 0.2 of like a regular shroom or a 0.2 of essentially penis envy or something else of that grade, you're getting a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Mushrooms don't want you to do taxes. That doesn't mean anything.
Psilocybin and taxes are like boom.
No,
they do not mesh together.
It's so funny.
Don't do those things together. What else do you do to kind of get your creative juices flowing? You got any? You like working out? You
depending on the day, but sometimes mornings usually. Actually, Athletic Greens has been helping me a lot. We're not even a sponsor.
We need to get them as a sponsor. I don't know if anybody else doing AG1. It's Athletic Greens.
That's what you told me about those.
Yeah, get on this. It's
like liquid vitamin over like 76 vitamins and minerals all in the one scoop. You get 30 a month.
And it's made out of whole plants. Yeah.
Yep.
And you said it doesn't taste that bad.
I think it tastes fucking good.
Yeah. I think your body does this thing kind of like alcohol where you start to like the taste of it because you actually feel an effect off of it.
Acquired.
You do.
Yeah. Like, I'm usually the person calling bullshit on supplement type stuff and be like, I'm not saying they're not healthy for you, but do I actually feel an effect if I take a bunch of vitamins? Not really. But I feel like a nice, even keeled,
it's a liquid vitamin instead of pills that get logged and stuck in your colon. Like you're only absorbing a small amount of it.
Yeah.
So liquid vitamin, you feel it, you piss it out. You can for sure.
There's something with all those.
Interesting.
All the pill casings too.
Yeah.
I had a cousin that had an addiction to kratom, and he was taking like an entire bottle of kratom pills a day,
and got the gallbladder was
and some shit. Yeah, some shit started getting fucked up because of all the plastic or whatever the biodegradable capsules are in there.
So bad.
That's how sometimes I grind mushrooms up and stick them in the veggie capsules. But
but you're not taking the bottle a day.
That's what my buddy does too. But like one every whatever, probably so often. But
Yeah.
The vitamins really help just have good ideas instead of the hungover, stupid ideas that you have, especially going back to work. So
many people have stupid brand ideas. Like you see these brands out there, and you're like, "Did you even get a version 2 of that logo,
that was
or
a
what?"
midnight with your buddy and a half a margarita down.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're just like, let's create it.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting on to 47 minutes.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
Okay,
we were going. But I think we need to end. Do you have a story? Do you have something to let everybody go off or to finish?
Yeah. Growing up in a small town, less than 200 people, you could be really bored. So sometimes I would just take a shit in this bag.
No, what?
A Ziploc bag.
I think he meant about shrooms, but we can continue.
Anything.
This is way better.
No,
This is way
better.
better. All right, here we go.
Ziploc bag, zip it, get all the air in it. And then you record it as you put it on the highway, because I live right next to 136, and watch the semis smash it.
And videotape it.
And you get joy off of that.
And you videotape. Guys, this is what happens in small Midwestern towns where there's nothing else to do.
No.
Like,
We used to also
That's
sneak
just-
onto the school buses in the same little town. Like the school bus would come over and say they're doing like some little prom thing, or they just even go into the little school areas. And we would put like beer bottles and stuff in the bus drivers' jackets and shit like that. Just for beer fun. Like that's the type of shit you do.
He probably got fired that night.
I don't think so. We used to know the guy that would call school for snow. We know his house, and we would go over and spray down his driveway with water, with like buckets of water, to try to get him to freeze. So then he would go outside in the morning and be like, "Oh, school's cold. Everything's frozen out here."
Or just unplug the buses from the battery.
Oh, that was a bad one.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
It was so cold. We just unplugged their juice. Like,
Yeah.
so was it either this or meth?
Yes. Yes.
You guys made the right choice.
Yes, it was
You
either
made-
this
you
or
made the right
that.
choice.
And you're someone not joking
Yeah,
about
no,
that.
I'm not joking.
we may have done a little bit of math.
Yeah, I'm not joking. Literally, there's like mobile meth labs, because one of the main
There still is.
okay, we don't have any time for this, but one of the main ingredients in meth is anhydrous ammonia, which is used as fertilizer in farming. So you go out to these farms and they have these huge tanks, like the size of semi trucks, and all the meth heads would go out there and steal the anhydrous, and that was like their main thing that they would use to make meth. And so you would have these seriously methed out people fucking with anhydrous, which is extremely flammable. You'd get cars blown up. You'd have people like trying to pull the anhydrous off and put it in some old air tank, and then next thing you know, they're in their car and all the anhydrous is leaking out inside their car with them. Like, yeah, meth.
Moral of the story is don't drink water, runoff water
Yeah.
in the Midwest.
Yeah.
No, don't drive on the 126 either.
Yeah,
You're going to get shit everywhere.
Yeah, don't do that.
I would rather do that than smoke meth.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know.
Drink it.
This is going to be a to be continued podcast.
Oh my goodness.
Well, Wyatt, thank you.
Yep.
That I can't believe you pooped in a bag and threw it on the highway.
And videotaped
either
it
one.
with a VHS. This
Were you
I
ever
want
there
a
for that?
Copy of this, or I want to read it. One of the
Yes.
two.
Oh, yeah.
Not for a bag, but one time at Burger King, you used to be able to get these little Pokemon balls. They had like gold
Yeah,
cards in
yeah.
there. They were like plastic Pokemon
Oh, yeah.
balls. Yeah. And so we
I think I
filled.
still have them.
Yeah, we did fill one of those up with human excrement one time, and as the semis went by, threw it because it had like this little button on there that we were
Yeah.
hoping would hit, and it did just kind of open up. And
Oh, that's
The life
Give us-
that might drive.
yeah, tell us where everybody can find us, HT, and this is going to be a to be continued.
Yeah.
Everybody tune in for a version 2.
God. First of all, if you're on the Central Coast, we're doing a food drive until the 20th. 1 can to 40 cans, whatever you can do. And then you get insert and do a raffle on social. We're on Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube, Buds Talking Buds on IG. The Source website, thesourceslow.com, and the YouTube, it's The Source Slow. Anything else, guys?
No, it's been a great episode,
Yeah, that's-
everybody.
this
Stay
was
high.
fun.
Again, thanks again. Stay high,
Appreciate you
everybody.
all.